I know you watched The Offer.
Yes.
How did Joe Columbo become the head of the family?
Joe Columbo became the head of the family because Pafaci died. Joe Banana wanted to set up a hit on Gambino, and Columbo, instead of doing it, went to Gambino and told him. And instead of them killing Joe Banana out of respect because he was there since he was a kid, they chased him out of New York. They tried to kill his son. If you know the story, they tried to kill Joe Banana's son, but they missed him. And then after they tried to kill his son, Joe Banana made a deal with the commission and he moved to Arizona with his son and everything. And through that intervention, the commission made Columbo the boss of that family, of Pafaci's family. And that's how Columbo became the boss of that family, because he intervened and he went to Gambino and told him about the plot, and that got him in the door with the commission, and he became the head of the family. And then Joe Gallo was in prison, but he felt he should have, and that's when that conflict happened with Gallo, because Gallo felt he should have been the boss. He didn't want, he wanted to be the boss, when he came out, he wanted to be the boss, and then he kidnapped a few guys, and what he did was crazy. He kidnapped some of the captains, and then he let them go. Thank God he didn't kill none of them. He let them go, and he wanted to be the boss, and he was starting all kinds of trouble. He started a war, and in the movie, a black guy shot Columbo. But listen, Joe Gallo, that was a commission move. That had to be sanctioned by the commission, because I used to protest in front of the FBI with Michael Francis. We used to protest. I was a kid, and every day, every night, my father used to send buses there, and we were protesting with the Italian American League in front of the FBI building. And the day of this rally, that Joe Columbo got shot, and that morning I was all excited because we were going to the rally. That was the big thing, right? There was going to be thousands and thousands of people. And when I went upstairs, my father told me we weren't going, and I didn't understand. So, what do you mean we're not going? It's the rally. We got to go. It's the main thing. We've been protesting all these nights. We have to go. And he said, I'm telling you, listen, we're not going. You're not going to the rally. So I just looked at him. I said, I'm not going. He goes, no, you're not going. What part of that don't you understand? I'm not going. You're not going. We're not going to the rally. So I said, all right, we're not going to the rally. And then later on in the day, when I heard Columbo got shot, I go, oh, no wonder why we didn't go to the fucking rally. He, because Gambino orchestrated that. He was with the commission, and my father, and I'm sure the word came down from Gambino to the family, don't go to the rally today, because there was only guys that were on the stage were Columbo guys. So I didn't go to the rally, and Michael Francis was actually right there when he got shot, when Joe got shot. Like, he actually spoke to Joe like minutes before Joe got shot. And so that's the proof. So like, he was in the Columbo family and I was in the Gambino family, and he was there and I was told not to go. So, that just puts it all together.
And Sinatra was obviously in The Offer.
I mean, I don't know if that's really true. It probably is true. I'm sure he didn't like the idea listen, we all thought it was him. I mean, if it was him or not, the whole world thought it was Sinatra because, of Here to Eternity, where he won the Academy Award. It was an Army picture. A guy like him played it was just, so everybody just assumed it was him. And everybody knows Sinatra was hooked up with the mob, and he did have a temper, Sinatra, he did have a temper. So I really didn't know anybody that was, I was a kid when the movie came out. I was only a teenager when that movie came out. It's 50 years old. So I was 18, right? It's 50 or 51 years old now. So I didn't know anybody that was involved in it. My father knew people that were involved in it. Joe Columbo was definitely involved in it. The producer was with Joe Columbo. If it wasn't for Joe Columbo, they would have never made it because of the unions. And that's all true. The relationship that Ruddy had with him is true. They were friends. He was with him. He always visited him. That's all true. I know that to be true. The parts about Joe Gallo, the parts with him beefing with Joe Columbo are true. I don't believe that when Columbo, after Columbo got shot, that Joe Gallo went to Carlo Gambino and said, I'm going to shake the guy down for money. Carlo Gambino did not need Joe Gallo to do anything for him. You know what I mean? That part I don't really believe. I think that's all fluff. Because my father hated Joe Gallo. My father fucking hated him, had beefs with him, never liked him, never had a good word to say about him, had arguments with him. Because he was one of the shooters that killed Albert Anastasia, and that was my father's guy. So he never liked him to begin with because of that incident, even though, you know, he just took an order, you know, that's the game. You know, my father still didn't like the idea. I think my father didn't like the idea because he belonged to another family. Like my father always felt that if they were going to get rid of Albert, there should have been guys that were in the same family, like they shouldn't have used another crew to get rid of Albert. Like he sort of, you know, like out of respect or something.
Yeah, at least your own kind, your own family. Right,
exactly. Like Tony Lee, like my father and Tony, they were old school guys. Like John Gotti had this guy Joe Watts around him, and Joe Watts did work for John Gotti. You know, he killed and Tony Lee used to get mad because they allowed Joe Watts to kill a guy that was a friend, that was a wise guy, and Tony Lee felt that another wise guy should have done it, not an outsider. So it was all politics and, you know, old school stuff. But getting back to the offer, yeah, the movie would have never got made without Columbo. And I love the show because it actually shows you. You know, I know they didn't want Al Pacino, you know, all that stuff is all true. You know, they didn't want, and it really brings it into perspective how, you know, this movie got made.
Wow. I've got to catch up. I watched the first episode and I got to catch up and watch. I've had a crazy busy last 2 weeks. As you know, I was, traveling a little bit, but I had a question, and it may have happened in the series. I'm not sure yet, but the only person I can think of is who shot who the most, more than Jimmy Hoffa, is who shot Joe Gallo. I mean, you know, Frank Sharon says he did it. I've heard stories ranging from Jerry Orbach being in, you know, the restaurant and seeing it and keeping his mouth shut. Do you know anything as far as what happened?
Jerry Orbach was definitely in the restaurant. As a matter of fact, he got shot, I think, in the arm or something, Jerry Orbach.
Yeah, okay.
And the Irishman, from what I understand, he was definitely one of the shooters. There was two shooters, and they went in and, you know, they shot him, and he jumped up, Joe Gallo, and he in the movie, in the offer, he dies in the restaurant. That's not how it happened. He got up and he ran outside. He died outside on the sidewalk, right out. He collapsed right outside the front door. So yeah. But I know one of the guys, one of the shooters was an Italian, and they say it was the fellow from The Irishman was one of the shooters. Yeah.
Frank Sharon,
right. And he was definitely in there. That actor was definitely in there because he, you know, comes from that neighborhood. He was good friends with him. But, you know, and a lot of actors hung out with Joe Gallo. I mean, you know, Joe Gallo was hanging out with Andy Warhol. You know, he was like, you know, you ever see the pictures of him with them shades on? He was, you know, he was always in Greenwich Village hanging out with, you know, he was a celebrity. You know, he was a celebrity.
I think a lot of those people were just attracted to, you know, those types of guys. I mean, there's news footage of Anthony Hopkins at John Gotti's trial. You know, when he's on trial, when Sammy starts to testify, there's news footage of Anthony Hopkins out in the street.
Right, he was there. Yeah, he was there. A lot of guys went to John's trial. You know, a lot. Even I believe even if my memory serves me right, when they were filming The Godfather in Manhattan, I believe Marlon Brando actually went to the Ravenite and had coffee with Arnel de la Croce.
Wow.
Just to hang out with wise guys. If my memory serves me correct, I remember that story that Marlon Brando went to the and you know who else hung out with them too? When they made the movie about Gotti, Anthony, what the hell? I just lost his name. I just had a brain. When they were with Amina was Anthony Quinn. When they were filming the movie Gotti, Anthony Quinn played Arnel, and he was going to the Ravenite, hanging out with them. Yeah. So actors do hang out with wise guys.